Opposition, episode 4. This is a very special diagram, a bit more tricky. In this kind of cases, there is a major line going through the middle of the 3 key squares. In our case, key squares will be G6, F6, and E6, and the major line will just cross crossing horizontal 6. Now, when we reach this line, we want to gain a position on our king. So we're going to jump straight to the setup. Now, gaining a position means black has to move. Obviously, he won't go away from the pawn, and still has to go backwards. And then we just simply outflank the black king, fast forward until we gain the black pawn. But how does white manage to get in that position and gain opposition? If we try to get long distance opposition over 5 squares, black will simply move back and forwards, even if he's giving up opposition. And unfortunately for white, he will not manage to get opposition across the major line, because now it's his turn to move. Even if he gets distance, thinking that he might manage to push the pawn and convert the other pawn, yeah, this is a small trap for black. If black goes to a7, he won't be able to keep up with the d pawn. But in this case, black will push forward towards the pawns. So it's not going to work out. Now, white has the next maneuver available, so he can win the endgame. It's quite technical, and it might require a couple of practices until you get it right. It does sound a bit complicated, but the way I practice in order to make sure I fully understand it is just repeat the maneuver, trying different answers from black, and you will see it works out very fine. Now, white will go towards g-file. Black is pushing f6. You can try different other answers, and you'll see white always has a solution. For example, one answer can be even king to h3. Now, how does white gain a position here? King to f2. Black pulls back again. King to g3. Now you can clearly see if black will try to go f6, white will easily get a position. Say black tries f7 this time. Again, opposition over f3. He pulls back. King to g4. Loses a position, loses a position. This is the only square that will not give white a position. King to f8. King to f4. Again winning a position. And now, doesn't matter what black will move, he will lose opposition across the important line on horizontal 6. If he goes to e7, which might look like the best option, we gain diagonal opposition. And because we're going to outflank black, he has to go in front of us, and finally we managed to win opposition across the h6 line, the horizontal 6 line. Yeah. And then black has to step aside and finally manage to outflank the king. For the purpose of training, we will continue a bit until black will lose his pawn. It's pointless to move on horizontal 8, because then the white king will go forward and capture the pawn. Potential try to gain diagonal position won't help either. And once we gain a position on the side, black will have to do one more step backwards, and his pawn will be lost. Victory for white.